Nice and easy. We're done with that though.
Jump rope? Yeah. Whenever I skip rope, I can't use these wireless headphones. They fall right out of my ears. So of course, it would be helpful if I could get the rope itself not to fall out of my hands. Finish my protein shake and then we'll hit this. New name, who this? Yes, sir. For those of you who don't know me, my name is BullMuscle. For those of you who know me as Beer Battered Ag, yes, I'm going through a rebrand. This seems like a pretty good time to talk about that, so let's go ahead and talk about it. I'm a die-hard Aggie.
The eyes of Texas are upon you. That is the song they sing so well. Sounds like hell! So goodbye to Texas University. We're gonna beat you all to chigga-roo-ga-rum, rock tough, we'll stop Texas A&M. Goodbye.
We get a little bit more all. So why can't I click all? Oh, yeah, there it goes. Nice. Alright, let's do one more bronze bar. If you adopt the mindset, and this is a quote from Jacob Fisker of Early Retirement Extreme, if you know that guy, 10 points to you. But it's a quote that I find unbelievably poignant in today's era. Spending money represents a failure to solve one's problems by smarter means. I'm gonna repeat that. Spending money represents a failure to solve one's problems by smarter means. That's painful. But yes, my friends, pure protein, as theirs makes no difference from raw egg whites. It's disgusting. The taste is vile, and it smells. But 100. Yeah, my poor roommate has to deal with the farts that come from this, and as you might imagine, they're not pleasant. But let me go ahead and knock this bad boy down. Oh, that's vile.
Yep. Nice and easy. We're done with that though.
Jump rope? Yeah. Whenever I skip rope, I can't use these wireless headphones. They fall right out of my ears. So of course. Good morning, everyone. Welcome on in. How y'all doing? Oh, it's a wonderful day here. Nice and cool. It's in the 60s outside. It is lovely. All right. Welcome on in. Settle on in for a spell, fellas. We're going to have a great show for you today. Today is a full day. Mic over. Perfect. Nope. That's not what we wanted. Mic is facing away from me now. Hang on 1 second. That's more like it. Perfect. Honest with me. Appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, come on in, Ed. Okay. So, welcome on in, everybody. We've got ourselves a great show for you today. I'm your host, BullMuscle, and today we're going to push. That's going to be the start of this. Get warmed up. Something different today. We'll do some high knees, some butt kicks instead of the jump rope, because I feel like mixing it up a touch. Behind me. It's glitchy. Give me just 1 second. Stand by. I think it's a power conservation setting, but my computer doesn't really like it when it's not plugged in anymore. So, ooh, yes, I totally forgot to change category. Thank you very much, Share. Yeah, I 100% brain farted on that one. Let me fix that real quick. Thank you for reminding me. Fitness and health. Perfect. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. All right, should be updated now. If it isn't, let me know. Sometimes Twitch gets weird, so just, and it could be OBS, it could be Twitch, it could be something else. Welcome on in, Phoenix, thank you very much. And Share, yeah, thanks again for that. I forgot. All right. So we got today. We got ourselves some bench press. We got ourselves some shoulders. We got ourselves some triceps. That's what we're gonna hit. We're gonna hit it hard. We're gonna hit it good. And I'm way off center here. Fix that. But first, just a little warm up. This is only a 35-pound bar, so just kind of moving around, high range of motion, all stretched out. All right, that's it. Move this out there. Okay. We'll do probably another set, just a little warm up at 125, just a couple reps. Again, this is just for safety, make sure I don't pull anything or hurt anything when I finally get going. We call them butt kicks. You got your haircut again? Yeah. The roomie likes cutting it, and I like keeping it short, so it's a win-win. I think it may have something to do with the fact that I'm shirtless when I get it cut, because, well, it doesn't really make sense not to be shirtless, because then, you know, the shirt gets covered in hair, and then it's itchy if I wear it beyond that, and I have to wash it. So why bother doing that when I just do a haircut shirtless? Anyway, hold on, another set. Okay. Just hold it on my chest for a second. Make sure. Feel a little tweak in my shoulders. It's in that right shoulder. It feels like something's kind of nagging me there, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. It doesn't hurt nearly as much as it did a few weeks ago. It tells me something just is kind of refusing to heal up in there. That's a bit of a worry. Anyway. Follow up now. What do we feel under there? Do I want to try 275? Maybe give 275 a try. A little bit heavier. What do y'all think? 275? Give it a shot. I feel like my pushes have been weaker as of late. My guess is because I stopped doing push-ups because my shoulder was acting up. My shoulder hasn't ever seemed to quite get right, so I may just start doing push-ups again. If it Makes your shoulder hurt more cutting out a second time. That may be the move. Alright. This is 215, 265, 275. And the same on the other side. Alright, we're going to get a little music going here. We'll get started. Today is also Financial Fitness Friday, so we're going to have a good time. Only half as good as a bowl, well, then work half as hard as I do. I'm kidding. No, bust ass. Do things 100%. There's no point doing anything else. Oh, Bluetooth is not on, so I have to fix that. Slightly back on center. The one who walks through fire says, gonna read super squats in the interval is unleashed. Now you're talking. Hell yeah, bro. Hell fucking yeah. That's better. Okay. What's going on? Why are we not? Why are we not getting the Bluetooth phones connected? There we go. Now we're talking. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Really respect the initiative here and giving yourself the name Phoenix. It's a good name, especially if he lives in Phoenix. The Phoenix is a pretty cool legend, though. The Firebird. How many double usernames are not taken? It does leave the question, I wonder if Bull is taken. I'm certainly not going to take it, but you know. All right. Oh, God, I gotta wake up. Since it rises again, bingo. All right. I'll hit this good. Ball, come on. Strong like a fucking ball. Let's go. Let's hit this. Lean, mean, money, nickel, machine. Let's go. I got paid yesterday. Hell yeah. I think I'll do 2 sets of that. Part of me wants to try 300. What up, C-Do? Good to see you. The longest username on possible on Twitch and made it so a long time ago I was beer battered Aggie syndrome, which is pretty close to that long. Obviously, it was a very, very long name to raid, so that was part of why I switched it. But I've been BullMuscle for like several months now, so I think any confusion as to what my identity is now that's moved on. Yeah. I was Beer Battered Aggie Syndrome, then I was Beer Battered Ag, and now I'm down to BullMuscle. I think I'm gonna keep it as BullMuscle for a hot minute. Money and alcohol, the life. Never change mine because it's a good one. It is, but that would be a pain in the ass to raid. All right, what do y'all think? Part of me wants to try 300 here. Should I do it? Why not? We're here. Let's do 300. Let's give it a shot. Let's see how we're feeling. I don't know how many I'm going to do this for, but excuse me. Let's give it a shot. But if I am going to do this, I definitely need to move this out of the way. There we go. Should do. Yeah, let's do 300 to try. Let's see how many times we rep this. If someone named an acronym, you know how Tia does. Yeah. No, I like your name. Your name's good. The one who walks through fire. That's a solid name. All right. Make sure I got this. Oops. Sorry, just 2.5. Okay. 35. 125, 215, 265, 295, 300. 125, 215, 216, 295, 300. We're gonna give this a shot. Yeah, it was so good. Most of my shit tied to. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Name changes are a pain in the ass. You have to update everything. Believe me, I understand that one. Okay. So I'm gonna need something a little bit heavier than Tupac 4. All right, so this is 300 pounds. I think that's 135-ish kilos. I don't know. Someone can convert that into metric exactly. I think it's around 135 in terms of kilograms. This is pretty good. I'd like to get 5 here. I don't know if we will or not. If I don't get 3, I'm gonna be pretty pissed off. I should be able to get at least 3 here. All right, I gotta psych myself up for this one. Yeah, no spot. You guys will notice before I go further, I do not have the clips on for that reason. If I have to bail, I can tilt it to the side and get it off. All right? Yeah, I got it. That's 4. I'll take 4. That's not bad. If I had been spotted there, I'd have tried a 5th, but that's probably not smart to do alone. That's still pretty good though. If I can hit, I can hit 300 pounds for a few reps. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Butt kind of came off on that last one, but it doesn't really matter. I touched my chest, the bar went down, the bar went up. That counts. A lot of people, say you can't rely on hip drive. Why not? What's your current body weight? Right now I'm weighing in at about 212 pounds, so that's not quite 1.5 times my body weight. I can max more than 1.5 times my body weight, right? Because 1.5 times my body weight would be 318. If I can hit that for a set of 4 at 300, yeah, I can hit at least one at 318. I know because my all-time max is 355. I doubt I'd hit that right now. You had offered me fresh to try and max today. My guess would have been probably around 335, 340. Which isn't bad, but it hasn't really progressed much. I was a bench bro. I've been kind of focusing elsewhere this year. On my early year bulk cycle, it was squats. More recently, it's been lats. I've been really trying to improve my rows. 275 at 195 body weight. Dude, that's still pretty good. That's close to, proportionally speaking, that's pretty close to what I'm doing. Right? That's pretty close to 1.5 times your weight. Not quite, but you're not that far off. I'm just bigger, right? I've got an additional, would that be 17 pounds of body weight to work with if I'm sitting here at 212. That said, I actually am going on a bit of a cut. It's a mini cut. What it's going to be is the next 4 weeks I'm going to drop 7 pounds. I want to be at 205. Right now I'm at 212. So I want to see if I can fix that. All right, so let's see, we got 275. We're going to do one more set of 275 and I'll probably go down weight. So if it is a set of 7 and a set of 4 there, I want to see if I can I should be able to get at least 5 here. Ideally I can get another set of 7, but usually I see a little bit of a tail off, a 3rd, 4th, 5th sets of bench in terms of how many reps I can do on the same weight. Cutting to 190, kids is next to the issue. Facts. Well, not kids for me. Kids definitely make it harder, but for me, there's just junk lying around the house that either I've brought in or my roommates brought in. And for me, it's late at night, and especially if I have alcohol. I need to just stop drinking for these 4 weeks because my willpower gets huge nerf. If I have a beer, all of a sudden, my cravings for junk food go through the roof. I feel like my willpower to resist them goes through the floor. I like beer too much, dude. Beer is proof God loves us and wants us to be happy, but boy, does it make cutting harder. Come back significantly though. Yeah. Okay, so if you really like beer, but you don't want the negative chemical effects of alcohol, and you don't want as many calories from it, and they don't pay me, although, fam, if they ever want to sponsor me, I will 100% sign the hell up, because I like their product. Is Athletic Brews. So they're non-alcoholic craft beers, and they, unlike other NA beers like St. Pauli Girl or O'Doul's, they don't taste like ass. They cost about the same. They cost about the same as a normal 6-pack of craft beer. It's like 10 to 12 bucks depending on which one you get. They're not nationwide yet, but you know, I live out in the sticks in South Carolina. If they're serving here, they're probably serving where you're at. But yeah, it's called Athletic. They're a non-alcoholic beer company. I think they do pretty good work. So I like them. We've only done 2 sets. It's almost 30 minutes into the stream. Granted, I was mostly setting up for the first 15 minutes, but still, I'm going way too slow. I need to speed up. All right, let's do this. That's 5. We're going down weight. It's too heavy for me today. A bit disappointing, but not terrible. Let's go for 250. $215, $245, $250. Yeah. Check them out. As far as the Athletics are concerned, my favorite is their wit beer. Their IPAs aren't bad, but I just don't care for hoppier beers in general, so I usually tend to shy away from those. I don't like their light beer. It's too light. It's like drinking beer-flavored water at that point. And I'm paying 10 bucks for a 6-pack of water. It's got to taste like beer, right? And now the Athletic Light, of course, is only 25 calories, so you know you get what you pay for. But the Athletic Wit beers, I think, like 60, 65 calories for a can, but it tastes like, you know, it tastes pretty much like a Blue Moon. That's the closest beer I'd come to. I think Blue Moon's pretty good, so I'd recommend it. I think it's quite good. Yeah, I did not realize they had a wit beer for a long time. I'm glad I did, because I like wit beer. All right, so here's what's going to happen next. I'm going to do one more set on, this is what, 250. Then I'm going to go to a set of 225, and we'll do a drop set. So a drop set here is going to be, I'm going to rep out on 225, drop weight, rep out on 135. All right? So that should be pretty good. They'll probably do close grip, maybe some incline press, some shoulders, stuff like that. Maybe do dumbbell shoulder press today. Normally I just do Arnold press. I think that might be a good, maybe I'll do barbell reverse press. That might be a good sort of change of pace. I might do that. Normally I'll just do dumbbell Arnold press, right? Do a barbell reverse press. That might be an interesting way to hit shoulders a little bit differently. I haven't done that in a hot minute. Anyway, music going. A little Alice in Chains. Stick with Alice in Chains so far today. Nine. Hey, welcome on in. Ooh, lightheaded. Hey, free or welcome on in. All right. So, now we're gonna do a drop set. This is for reps. I'd like to get at least fairly far into the double digits at 225, and then the same for the drop set at 135. So now, why did I just do that? Why did I put a little 5-pound donut inside the two 45-pound plates? Well, that way, I can just peel off the 45s quickly and dive back into the drop set. I can't do it the way I'd like to, which is have somebody here to peel off the plates and minimize rest time between the drop set, but this is the next best thing. If we're going to do shoulder press after this, I think we are. I'll go for 60s. A little bit heavier today. So this will be my heavy set on shoulders. So it'll be 60 pounds. Dumbbells. Oh, no, that's 70. Don't want 70. That's a bit too heavy. There we go. 60. See, I don't drink beer to get drunk. I drink beer because I like the taste. If I want to get drunk, I'll switch to whiskey. Okay, I do like this Motorhead song, but there's a song I usually go to for the drop sets. And it reliably works pretty well for me, and that's Toys in the Attic by Aerosmith. See, I don't like getting smashed with little buzzes. I see my trouble is, even with a little buzz, it could be as little as a beer, 2 beers, or 3 beers, and oh man, my desire to eat junk food goes through the roof. Doesn't matter if it's 1 beer or 7. Too old for hangovers. Yeah, I'm trying to teach myself that lesson. I'm 28, and they're hitting me harder now than they did when I was 22, I'll put it that way. Okay, so again, this is 225. We're hit it for reps. The goal here is speed. Really just sort of pound it out as fast as you can. Re-rack, drop to 135, and then pound it out as fast as you can. Oh God, yeah. No, I've heard hangovers get exponentially worse the older you get. So I'm sure once you get into your 30s, they get a lot less pleasant. And they already suck, and I'm 28, so I can only imagine. let me focus on in here. I got this. You eat hangovers and you don't even drink? What are you doing, that heroin? Is it the definition of hangover, the effects of too much alcohol in one evening? I'm playing. Is joke. You get old. For a brief moment, I thought you said, I thought that was OLDs in some sort of disorder, and I'm like, wait a minute, no. Alright. And I know I'm going slow as a fucking molasses this morning, but honestly, I ain't got that much to do today. Today's Financial Fitness Friday. We'll talk about the markets and all that jazz after the fact, but we're going to the beach this weekend. So Dodger had her birthday last weekend, and she really wanted a beach trip, so I paid for a hotel for a couple of nights down on the Georgia Sea Islands. So we'll be down Brunswick way. All right, I gotta focus on this one. Drop! Yeah, baby. Woo. All right, 12:15. Not bad. Oh man, that hurt. That's painful. That one's always a bitch. Feels good though. My chest is shot now. I can feel it. It's sore. But looking good. Nothing seems real. Toys, in the attic, toys, in the attic, toys, in the attic. Nah, that ain't gonna work. Too much of an angle. Let's sit upright. All right. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna hit some sets of shoulders, and we'll hit some sets of close grip. More JoJo. Good to see you. So you work hard though. Welcome on in. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a hot minute. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hitting the weights hard today. It's the only way you improve. You gotta do work. Gotta do work. Give for a little Ramones here, a little Blitzkrieg bop. It's always a good song. Oh, let's go. That's too heavy. I need to go down weight. I thought I'd get that. We're not hitting that today. Go back down to 50. I don't know. They're all wrapped up and ready to go. Hey, 69 biddies, thank you very much. More JoJo. Ooh, the soreness is kicking in now. I burned it on that, that burnout set, drop set. Definitely feel it. I think I was using more than just my chest for that one. Time zone, the sleeping time when you stream. I had to come by for a short while and give support. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm guessing that means you must live on the Pacific Coast, the other way around over in Asia. In that case, go rest, or you work a night job. Either way, go rest, take good care of yourself, and thanks for popping in. Redeeming the pec bounce, you got it. It'll be a good looking one today. Oh man, this hurts. Sore. There you go. All right, take it easy. Thanks for popping in more, JoJo. Good to see you. Alright, up to 12. That felt pretty easy. Alright, I'm going to try 60 again. This is my heavy sets on shoulders. I should try to push it even if I'm only rep at 6. I'm back in the saddle again. So we're doing here, we're hitting shoulder, tricep, shoulder, tricep, shoulder, tricep. Allowing to mix it up gives each individual muscle a bit more time to recover. Which after that burnout set on bench, I needed. I'm back. I'm back in the saddle again. Hey, good to see you, Crossbow. Good morning to you. Or I should say afternoon on your time front. I hope you slept well. I know you were up late last night because you were hanging out with me playing RuneScape. Bet you did. Come on. Ooh, another pack bounce. All right. Hold up. Is that Bell X? Well, welcome back. Been a hot minute. Ooh. Okay. I can't peck bounce fast enough to match the guitar solo at the end of Back to the Saddle by Aerosmith. I'm trying, but man, that's hard. There you go. And everybody's redeeming the peck bounce today, especially given that we just did bench. Y'all getting the best, huh? All right. There's a little more Motorhead going on. I'll go for a slower song here. Neck kind of inflates. Good to know. So y'all notice shit like that. I'm too busy in the zone in the moment. All right, let's hit Motorhead. Let's hit March or Die. Boys doing dabs. Take it easy on that stuff, man. Nothing wrong with cannabis, and it should be legal, but Dabs are a lot stronger. Dabs are to cannabis what whiskey is to beer. I would also mention that any drug done in too much of a quantity can be dangerous. Now, I'm no saint. I drink alcohol. Oh, dabs in the action doing shooting stars. I thought you were talking about, hitting a dab. My bad. All right, here we go. Macho die, macho die. Death to spoil and lie. Come on. Come on! All right. Sister, laugh and cry, laugh and cry. Crash override, good to see you. I'm very close to 93 smithing. By the way, Crossbow, I'm 100% balling the hell out when I get to 99. If you have a clan that wants to show up for that, you invite them, all right? Smoke. I love that part. Macho croak, macho croak. All your life a cosmic joke. Piss and smoke. People forget just how damn good a band Motorhead was. Like, everybody knows Ace of Spades and Bomber and Overkill. Go deeper into Motorhead, go deeper into their discography, and you won't be disappointed. Motorhead plays rock and roll, and God do they ever do. Even their slow songs, like, go listen to 1916. That is one of the most heart-moving, like, that is, this badass, the badass band of all badass bands. And they put out this beautiful ballad. I'm telling you, man, Motorhead was, if Motorhead's not in your top 10 artists, you just haven't listened to them enough. I'm convinced of it. Nice. Favorite live action workout? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. smith some room armor. So we look at. I can smith up to a rune full helm right now. I think 93, I want to say, is rune square shield, and then 94 is rune warhammer. For some stupid reason, you get plate legs, plate skirt, two-handed sword, and plate body, all at 99 smithing. So what I'm going to do, by the way, once I get to 98, I'm going to buy an absolute ass ton of dwarven stouts and just start smithing rune plate legs, and two-handed swords, and whatever else outs for the most money. We're in those cute shoes today. These are knockoff Chuck Taylors I got from Walmart for $12. Now, why did I buy those? Well, I don't expect them to last, but for $12, who gives a shit? Moreover, it's that they have a flat sole, and as a result, are better for squatting and deadlifting with. It goes to show that you don't need no fancy equipment to get a good workout. All right. Not bad. Much more convenient than D-racking. Ever worked out and accidentally farted? Oh, that's a rite of passage. Fam, if you are hitting leg press really hard or squat really hard and you've never accidentally farted, you're not hitting it as hard as you should be. Now, I've never sharted, and this is because if I feel something happening down here while I'm in the workout, I suck it up and I take 5 to 10 minutes. I go fucking hit that bathroom. If I lose the piece of equipment I'm on, so be it, but that's not worth it. It's not fucking worth it. Yeah, I'll joke, but I mean, there are guys who do it. You don't want to crap yourself on a deadlift. That's the worst feeling in the world. It feels so bad when it happens. Because, you know, that means you're trying your fucking hardest. On 6 more. Three more. 30 for the next set. We'll do some triceps extensions, the leftover dumbbells. There we go. Electricity, watts amps, ohms, volts. Like mad trying to figure out if solar panels or a space heater would work. Seems the answer is not really. Well, it depends on where you are, but yeah, you're gonna get a lot of conversion losses. What you're gonna want, there are individual solar electric water boilers that do sometimes work a little bit better instead of running a space heater. What you can do there is that's a lot more efficient. Yeah, you won't be as comfortable, but takes a lot more thermal intensity to heat water. And so if you have an electric water heater that's connected to the grid, that's going to suck loads of electricity. Or you're paying a hefty gas bill. It's also best for the environment if you're eliminating a gas water heater. The first thing to actually become at cost parity was a solar water heater. So Mikey, if you're looking for an idea, I'd start there. All right. Let's go. If you like to gamble, Alexa, I'm your man. Some lose, same to me. The only card I need is the ace of spades. The ace of spades. Now, just because I love listening to the deeper tracks on Motorhead doesn't mean Ace of Spades ain't a banger. I don't know. Dancing with the devil, going with the flow. It's all a game to me. Water heaters, electric tunnel access, natural gas outside the city. Didn't go propane. If you want to cut electric costs, I'd start there. Know anything about pinched nerves? Not really. I know that stretching will help with those, or ice too, and I hate using both of those, so I'm a bit of a hypocrite there. You know I'm born to lose, and gambling's for fools, but that's the way I like it, baby. I don't want to live forever. Nice. All right, so let's see what we got. 5, 8, 11, 14. All right, we're halfway through. The dead man's hands again. Pinch nerd, poor crash and move. Yikes. That sucks. Take one look and die. See, you know it's gonna be the ace of spades. Nice. So I got one more set of shoulders, got one more set of triceps extensions, then we'll hit behind the back shoulder press and inclines. How does that dumbbell work? Welcome on in. Thanks for the first time chat, Cy Congro. So the answer is this is a power block dumbbell. Allow me to demonstrate. All right, this is 30 pounds, right? You can see it's got like little slots, right, all the way down. And the way it works is you use this little plastic component to insert it between the two rungs of the bars that you want. So the further down you go, the heavier the dumbbell gets. I love power blocks. These were expensive. They're one of the best decisions I've ever made. I use them extensively in my workouts, and what's more is they give me, right, all weights between 5 and 90 pounds to work with for dumbbells in very compact form factor. Right, like that's it, that's one for all of 90 pounds, which is fantastic. So it's a really good, if space is at a premium, which it is in my garage because I've got 2 cars to park in here, so I can't just have a wall of dumbbells, then power blocks are the move. All right. Okay. What do we got next? Let's see here. Let's hit another. Oh yeah, no, they were expensive, but think about how much. Okay, right? They may seem expensive, but consider how much it would take to buy a set of 5-pound dumbbells, a set of 10-pound dumbbells, a set of 15-pound dumbbells, and so on and so forth, all the way up to 90-pound dumbbells, and then on top of that buy a rack to store all of them. This is cheaper, when you put it that way. It was money well spent. I love them. All right, it's 12. There we go. Itchy. There we go. Come on. If there's a new way, I'll be first in line. Colonoscopy? Ouch. You're ready. Hey, it's a healthy thing to do. Good on you. All right. All right, we're gonna go behind the neck for these. I'm gonna go for a few more reps. I'd like to get sets of 12, 13. Can you put a price on peace? Come on. That was only 7. Fuck. I need to rest more. I'm trying to go too quick. That's disappointing. I can do better than that. That's 125. My bar is a piece of cheap Chinesium crap, so it weighs only 35 pounds. If I had known that, I wouldn't have bought it, but I did, and it was too late to return by the time I figured it out. Oh well. Psychongro says, do you keep track of your weight? Yes, I do. I'm currently at 212 pounds, and I'm actually going to start something of a small cut. I'd like to get down to about 205 in 1 month's time. So, need to lose about 7 pounds. That's around 20,000 calories in about 30 days, which means I need to run a deficit of about 750 calories a day. How do you do it? Pencil and paper. Everything that goes in my mouth gets written down in here. That's more or less it. All right, workout in here as well. That's what I've been standing off to the side and doing. I write it down. I write out my workouts, I write out what I eat, and I usually write at the end of the day here as a journal. And I notice every time I go too high in terms of calories, it's often because my late night demon shows up and I start eating all sorts of junk food. I get really bad cravings like after about 8 at night, and they get worse if I drink. So that's something I have to fix. So let's see here. We've got, I gotta see what I got left. 2 more sets of shoulders we got left. 4 more sets of tricep and 5 more sets of back. So that's 4, 6. All right, so we got 11 sets left total. If that's the case, I need to do a set of, I need to start on incline. Cool, do that. It's not bad, gets the job done. I started tracking my macros in summer of 22, and I noticed it made a major effect. I started giving a damn about what I was putting in my body. So I strongly recommend it. This way to fight against night cravings for me is going to sleep. Yeah, that's another demon of mine. I enjoy life, and all my friends hang out late because I'm on the East Coast, which means when it's, 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. my time, it's 6, 7, 8 p.m. there. So they're just getting started, and I have to go to bed because I work nuclear, which means I have to get up early. Quick hello as you get ready for work. Good to see you, Big Red. Good luck against Florida tomorrow. That'll be a good game. All right. Enjoy the beach. Yeah, it should be fun. Dodge really wanted to do this, so we're doing it. Apparently we're going to go hit some rum distillery down in Georgia. I think I'm going to voluntarily DD on this. I want to get fucking serious. In a month, I need to start hitting, if I miss even just a few days of deficits now, because I'm going to have to hit 1,000 calorie deficits like right before I'm leaving. I don't want to do that. 1,000 calorie deficits mean you feel like shit. Get you to start working at 6 a.m. Yeah, I do the same thing. It's just the nature of the beast, but I get Fridays off. That's why I'm lifting right now. I work 4/10s. Hey, good to see you, Music Comp. All right, I got some regulars popping in. That always makes me happy to see. Let's get a little bit more music going. What are we feeling like today? What do I go for here? Feeling, ooh, yes. I haven't hit Limelight in a minute. I love Rush. bad. Good set of 15 there. Those who wish to be must put aside the alienation, let fascination, the real relation, the underlying theme. Living in a fisheye lens, cutting the camera eye. I have no heart to lie. Oh, the world's indeed a stage. We are merely players, performers and portrayers. Each another's audience outside the gilded cage. All right. Like your haircut, I had the same one for a bit during college. It's fun. It's still very low maintenance, the same way a buzz cut is. It's a little bit more interesting though, buzz cut. All right. So now, I only did 7 on behind the neck press last time. I want to do better this time. Strong like bull. Come on. Strong like bull. Come on. Ah! Oh, not bad. All right. The real relation, the underlying theme. Big buzz cut fam, now I use long hair. I kind of miss the low maintenance. Well, okay, see, I live in the deep south where it's very hot and very humid, and long hair just makes that so much worse. Even if I wanted long hair, which I don't, it's just not worth it around here. I'll be right back, I'm gonna pee. Step out for 15 seconds and the mosquitoes already start hitting you. Yep, and fucker just came in. Damn it. I hate mosquitoes. Law man is put in my house. Oh, mama, I can't cry. You're so scared and all alone. Hang. was only 13. I needed more time to rest there. Fucking mosquitoes, man. Hey, good to see you, Barrett. Yeah, there's just not quite enough definition down here that I'd like to see. So I want a little bit more there. All right. I think I want to try one. I want to try one in front of neck press, and I just want to see how far I can go with it. Let's go for plates, though. Life alone, another love. Hangman's coming back. And I don't have very long. All right. So here's what we're going to do this one. I'm going to do this as a normal sort of military press. I don't want to push press here, but I do want to put it in front of my... Oh no, I was going to do reverse press, wasn't I? Shoot, I should do that. Oh well, I'll do it next time. I'm committed to this now. I need something stronger than Renegade. No, Ernie's not going to do it. No, why the fuck are you recommending the Eagles? It's disgusting. I don't like the Eagles. I like all the individual songwriters and musicians in the Eagles. I don't like them together with the exception of one song. And that's because of how I grew up. The song New Kid in Town for me holds a special place in my heart. All right. Holy shit. So I don't know if y'all been following this whole government shutdown thing. Because I'm a nuke worker, they're not going to screw with me, but at least not unless the shutdown goes for a hot minute. So I'm not too concerned. The furloughs will affect the non-essential workers first. Uncle Sam wants his plutonium, so I'm gonna be okay. But apparently, the newest version of the House bill is cutting the Secretary of Defense's salary to $1. Now, I find this doubly funny because these are people who will continue to get paid full salary even when the government shuts down. So I think the first thing that should happen is, in the event of a shutdown, that Congress loses their salaries. That shit pisses me off. And this one is almost solely on the Republicans. I'm a centrist. Usually I don't blame one party, but it's the far right that is driving this. And frankly, in this country, the far right needs to be taken out of power. They're not serious about cutting defense. They're not serious about cutting spending. They haven't been serious about cutting spending since maybe 2010. And we do have a spending problem, but frankly, a large part of that is also that we've been reducing taxes for the last 30 years. You can't cut taxes, raise spending, and expect debt problems not to happen and funding problems not to happen. So, anyway. I don't normally like to blame one party here, but the GOP is at fault. This is one where I will hold the Republicans' feet to the fire. Fund the fucking government. This isn't that all you're doing is shooting the economy in the foot. It's stupid. And if what really needs to happen is, frankly, the big business wing of the Republican Party needs to get the crackpots on their side under control. Big business, corporate America, reassert fucking dominance over these clowns. Look, you know, you can sit here and say, oh, they're the party of the 1%, they're the party of big business, they're the party of the uber wealthy. I will gladly take that over the clowns that have been introduced to the GOP over the last 10 years. Because at least the big business wing is serious about, you know, making sure shit continues to function. Like the Reaganites, you might disagree with them, but they weren't gonna pull clownery like this. Anyway, I didn't mean to go on a political rant, but I got a notification for it, and I'm like, I kind of have to keep some sort of interest in it because, God forbid, you know, the shutdown goes long enough, I will get affected, so I'm gonna have to prep for that. But I'm really kind of hoping I don't need to. It's dumb. It's really dumb. Anyway, speaking of money matters and funding, it is Financial Fitness Friday, so when we're done working out, we will talk money matters. So if you've got financial questions, you see the timers down in the bottom left as always, come talk to me. Or I should say, as usual, not as always. All right, here we go. Let's wrap this. Oh, shit. Oh, my legs started cramping up there. Oh, I locked my knees. That was dangerous. That's all right. We're done with that though. Shit. Ooh, lightheaded. Right? Ultimately, it's not going to be, you know, discretionary spending cuts that change the trajectory of America's debt and its deficit. Remember, over 60%, actually I think it's closer to 70, 75% these days of America's spending is on defense and even more than that, entitlements. That's Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. You're not going to fix the deficit problem unless you do two things. One, increase taxes. And that doesn't just mean on the wealthy, it means on everyone. You cannot have a European-style welfare state and European-style levels of pensions like we do with Social Security and have taxes as low as they are. Second thing you're going to have to do is cut entitlements. I do not understand why, when the American life expectancy is close to 80, the retirement age has barely changed since 50 years ago. The retirement age is only 67. And for those of you saying, oh, that's cruel to people in their 60s, oh really? Is it? Is the people currently getting onto the dole for Social Security and Medicare right now, The people born in the 40s and the 50s, the people who experienced the prosperity of their youth, the people who experienced the 80s stock boom, the 90s tech and stock boom, the 2000s stock boom, the 2010s stock boom, and all the increases in things like housing over that time. This was the generation that could go to college for peanuts and pay for it with a minimum wage job. Literally, in the 60s and the 70s, that was something you could do. Our generation sure as hell can't do that. You're telling me these are the people who just couldn't find a way to save enough for a few years of retirement? Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that. I've seen some Social Security benefits. You've been working even just a meager kind of lower middle class job for 30, 40 years. You're getting paid, you know, a very healthy amount of money to live on. People say, oh, what are you talking about? You can't live on $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. Bullshit again. I live on $18,000 a year. Quite happily, I might add. Yeah, you might not be able to keep your house in downtown San Francisco, but frankly, if you're one of those people that bought it for peanuts in the 60s, now's the time to sell it and live off of the profit. Don't sit here and tell me, like, this is the single most spoiled generation, the early and mid baby boomers. It's the most spoiled generation that was given the most and done the least with it. You can't sit here and tell me these are the people who can't afford an entitlement cut. They're the single wealthiest generation the world has ever known by a country mile. It's not even close. I hear that as, oh, you're cutting grandma off. Fuck off with that. No, you're cutting wealthy baby boomers in their 60s off, who don't really need the money. This is the generation that got rid of pensions, right? The baby boomers, if you were born in the late 40s, early 50s, you probably did get a pension at some point. It's laughable, absolutely fucking laughable to me, to tell me that this is the generation that can't afford an entitlement cut. After all the deficits their generation has run up in office, after all the spending, after all the tax cuts, you're telling me this is the generation that can't possibly be asked to contribute a little bit more and take a little bit less? Fuck right off with that. They need to get the hell out of office while we're at it. No more fucking boomer presidents, no more fucking boomer senators, no more fucking boomer representatives. I'm tired of that generation. Get out. You've done enough damage, haven't you? Seriously. Boomers, you are 1 for, let's see, what is this? You're 1 for 4 on good presidents. That's pretty bad. And that's really iffy. That's calling Clinton a good president, which is hit or miss. I think not having to be rich to sit in the Senate is really good. No, it's not. Here's why that's not a good idea. Right? If you make only middle class people, only middle class and upper middle class and lower middle class people eligible for the Senate, you put an income cap on who can be elected, what that's going to do is make people a lot easier to bribe because they're going to need the money more. No, you don't want that. Now, I don't think the Senate should be comprised entirely of wealthy people, but that's rather idealistic. I think there are better ways to reform the issue you're talking about there, Tally, than putting a hard cap like that. I think right problem identified, wrong solution, if I may be so bold. Just my opinion. But no, I'm really goddamn tired of the boomers running shit. 3. All right, we're gonna do one more set of incline, then we have 2 sets of chest flies, a couple sets of triceps left. We'll do some skull crushers. Yeah, no, I think there are ways to fix the problem. I just don't think that's the one. And that's my opinion, of course. You guys are welcome to have and share your own. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one and they all stink. I guess some of y'all like the smell of mine, I don't know. The simple answer is that in the year 2023, keeping the retirement age at 67 is a joke. It should not be 67. I would like to immediately raise it to at least 75. I'm willing to compromise down to 73 if I must. But in exchange for that, I want it means tested. Look, I'm sorry, if you are making millions and millions of dollars on Social Security, you don't fucking need it. Like, or if you're making millions and millions of dollars and you're that wealthy, you don't need Social Security as a check. I'm sorry, it's just ridiculous. I'd say means test it, and then means test Social Security, drastically raise the retirement age, and increase taxes is what you need to do. And then once we've done all those things, first off, those three things are deflationary measures that should cool off the economy, which means we'll stop seeing as much inflation, and when that happens, interest rates can go back down, which is good for the global economy. So in other words, the U.S.'s profligate spending is hurting the global economy and putting a lot more favor into the ne'er-do-wells of the international community: Iran, Russia, North Korea. People in the center are still corrupt regardless of income. Exactly. So my point is, making it non-rich people in there isn't going to fix the problem. Income is not correlated to corruption levels. There's better ways to fix the corruption issue than that. But ultimately, a big part of it is on the U.S. public. Voter participation rates are shockingly low in presidential elections, let alone the Senate or House, and that's part of the reason why you have an approval rating for Congress of 20% and an incumbency rate of 90%. People like to say, "Oh, but my senator isn't as bad." Bullshit. It's blind partisanship most of the time. Ranked choice voting is what we need? Absolutely. Hell yes. Please. There is no reason we should be stuck with a first past the post bipartisan system. And frankly, that's the biggest issue the Constitution had that has yet to be addressed. Obviously, slavery was a bigger issue, but you get what I mean. All right. All right, let's see. 8. All right, we got one more set of triceps extensions, 2 sets of skulls, and 2 sets of chest flies. Money is debt slavery. Cover junkie. I don't think that means nothing. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. Are you suggesting we return to bartering? Monetary systems based on debt? Well, debt isn't necessarily a bad thing, as long as this debt is being used productively. What is the debt being used on? Is the question, right? And that is a much more nuanced question. There's nothing wrong with having debt. For instance, I used debt to purchase this house in the form of a mortgage. Now, I put 20% down on principal, and I got it at a low interest rate, so my payments are very affordable. That's a common sense way to use debt, and it makes a lot more sense than spending half your life saving up enough to buy a house in cash. There are good uses for debt, there are bad uses for debt. The question is, where the devil's in the details. There's nuance to these things. All right, we're done. We're done with the barbell. I think someone's mowing their lawn and the fan's sucking in all the grass clippings. Might be a little bit harder to breathe in here. That's not ideal. That's all right. We're almost done. Let's go for skull crushers next. Judgeable, good to see you. Just to die anyway, looks like your muscles now. I mean, you can see them. Cover junkie. Again, there's nothing wrong about debt as long as you're borrowing at a responsible level and at a responsible interest rate. I mean, hell, take another example, right? Let's say you want to start a small business. To be competitive, you may need to take on debt, for things like initial capital costs. Let's say you want to build a power plant, right? The only people who could do that if we didn't have debt are going to be the super rich. And that's going to give them even more power. So if you're a businessman, you want to start your own business, typically you're going to want a business loan, and that's debt. Again, there's good debt and there's bad debt. All right. Son of a bitch. Alright, 2 sets of chest flies, 1 more set of skull crushers. So you already did protein 2, so it's 240, 48, 4, and 6 for nutrition. Let's say you're currently using debt as yourself, that you've lended to yourself or paying interest to private banks to be able to use that debt to trade goods and services. Yeah. So? Why is that a bad thing? Are you one of those people that thinks the U.S. switched to fiat currency in the 70s was a bad idea? Or, are you saying, do you support the gold standard? What? All right, enough said. All right, let's start my shoulder. I gotta go down weight. All right. Go down to 30. I mean, ultimately, money is created or destroyed by the Federal Reserve through quantitative easing or quantitative tightening as well, but as long as interest rates stay relatively stable, it's not a huge deal. right? Ultimately, and people like to just sit here and say, oh, it's all the Fed's fault, oh, it's all the Fed's fault. The Federal Reserve does not control government spending. The deficit spending, especially the way the U.S. has been doing since about 2010, is artificially inflationary. So ultimately, if you have a problem with inflation, government spending is probably where I would start before blaming the Fed. Now, the Fed should have raised interest rates earlier in 2021, I'll grant that, but they have raised interest rates recently, and I would say they're doing the right thing by being very cautious about raising them more or cutting them. Right now we're at about 3-4% interest or inflation per the official statistics. So the Fed wants it down at 2%, but the closer you get to the goal, the more delicate you want to make your changes. You don't want to go too far, overcorrect, and then create a recession. It's what they're calling the soft landing. Baklava just got home from the gym and everything hurts. That sounds like a pretty good day then. Good for you. All right, we got 2 more sets and we're gonna head in. Oh. Oh. All right, 1 more set. I'll tell you one last thing about debt, right? So take this house, this mortgage, right? The mortgage I have is productive in the sense that it's low enough to where the what's called imputed cost of rent, in other words, the opportunity cost of continuing to rent instead of buying and starting to generate equity on a home, covers most of the cost of the mortgage payment. And beyond that, I have my roommate who, chips in for the cost. So it's productive debt. It's a lot more efficient for me in a cash flow perspective and from a net profit return on investment perspective to take out debt to own this home rather than to continue renting, save up, and buy it full out with cash. All right, last set. The baklava, it sounds like you had a good workout. Are there any updates on the Hawaii situation? No, not yet. I'm expecting. Okay. You know what? Let me hit this set, Mike, and then we're going to talk about that because I think some of my viewers may not know because some of them aren't here as often as you are. Which is, by the way, kudos to you, and you're one of my absolute favorite people to have in chat, by the way, Mikey. I don't know, you always make me happy. You always have interesting stuff to talk about. You're always positive, and you're real. You share shit, I don't know, I just wanted to say thank you for always being here. It makes me happy to see you. All right, come on, reps here. 1. Eight, 9, 10. Oh, okay, come on. 13. 14. Not done. Okay. Yeah, form's starting to break. We're done. Ouchie. Whew. Oh. Okay. Okay. So, yes, let's talk about the Hawaii situation. For those of you who don't know, I haven't been like advertising it, but it is something I've brought up with a lot of my Discord members. And if you're not in the Discord, I recommend joining it because there's a lot of really cool people in there and a lot of really good content. If you want to learn a lot more from me, I can teach you a lot more in the Discord as opposed to trying to, react where the blood is it's not flowing up here. Blood's flowing to my muscles, right? Not so much my brain while I'm lifting. There we go. Okay, I got everything down here. Just need to move this back. Okay. So let's talk about that. Actually, you know what? I don't really need to go inside. I can just kind of chill here. It's nice enough. Why do I even need to go inside here? We can just chill outside. All right, so welcome to the Q&A section of the stream. Probably get bit up by an extra mosquito or two, but I don't really care. I'm used to it. It's South Carolina. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So welcome to the Q&A section of the stream, everybody. Let's talk a little bit more about the Hawaii trip. So, I've been in contact due to a series of what I would call fortunate events. I have had some contact with engineering management out at Pearl Harbor Shipyard in the great state of Hawaii. Are they? No, they're not a commonwealth, are they? I know they're not a kingdom anymore. Anyway, we will see what happens. So far, I've had a lot of good conversations. I've thrown them my resume, references, all that other stuff in the form of a formal application. The manager really liked me in the interview. He said, you can probably expect an offer in 1 to 3 weeks. He said that 16 days ago, so my guess is probably within the next 2 weeks I'll know. I'm 95% sure I'm going to get an offer. The question is going to be how that offer stacks up to my current job in terms of pay and what the timing looks like. What do I mean by that? Well, I've been working at my current job here in South Carolina since March of 2021. This job offers a very good 401k program. It's a 9% match. As such, I have been contributing to get all of that. But what it also means is that, it's a big chunk of change. And it only fully vests after 3 years. And it's all or nothing. So it would be a 5-digit sum of money I'd be losing if I were to quit my job before March of 2024. As such, I did tell the manager at Pearl that. He said, that's okay. It's, it may be the military, so things may move a bit faster, but it's still nuclear work, so it'll still move at a nuclear pace. In other words, I think the manager at Pearl understands, hey, that's a time constraint, and 2024 is when we'd be looking at. So I don't think the timing is going to be an issue, especially because now, we're at the end of September, and I'm going to have to go through, if I take this job, right, I have to go through a security clearance interval. They're going to have to check all my shit, make sure everything's up above the level. That may explain a few other things that I'm not going to talk about on stream, but as such, it's going to take time if I do accept the job. And that's okay. Again, I have a really great setup here, and that's the other thing. It's got to pay well enough. It's no secret that the cost of living in Hawaii is stratospheric. it's certainly going to be a lot higher than where I currently live. I mentioned earlier I live on roughly $18,000 a year. I think this year it's going to be a little bit closer to $20,000, but that's because I'm going to put some, I've already put, and I'm going to continue to put some fairly decent money towards charity because that's a goal of mine this year. I don't like to brag about it, I don't want to talk about it because that's, the Bible says not to, but it is something I'm trying to allocate, and in terms of budgeting, I want to be transparent, I want to be honest, so that is part of it. But I do consider charity an optional expense. It's not a mandatory thing that one has to do. Now, if you are, say, Mormon and you believe in the tithe, that's an entirely different conversation. But I'm Catholic, that's not what we do. I volunteer, I will donate to charitable causes that I find and deem appropriate and efficient. So that's just my opinion. Yeah, now the Mormon church is what? Yeah, it's 10%. And I actually think that's a laudable goal in theory, right? So I think donating 10% of your money to worthwhile charities is a great idea in theory, but I find out very often that religious charities waste more of the money than secular charities do. Now it really does depend, organization to organization. For instance, one of the really good charities is called Cross Catholic Ministries. And they work for the poorest of the poor. We're talking about digging wells and putting up solar power in Africa. We're talking about hurricane relief and earthquake relief in countries like Haiti, right? So now that's I think, a very good religious organization. And it really, and you've got other organizations that are secular in theory, the Red Cross, that waste a lot of money. But in general, and this is a very broad brush, the secular charities tend to be a bit more efficient with their money than the religious ones do. Not always, but sometimes. And you have to, I think it's too broad a brush to rule out all sorts of charities. You have to go on a case-by-case basis. Moving on from that. But, what that means is, in terms of real living expenses here, $18,000 is a pretty good rough estimate, which is about $1,500 a month. Now, if I move out to Hawaii, I've done the math, and I suspect if I continue to live, I would live a much more Spartan lifestyle out there in the sense of I wouldn't have a house, I would have an apartment because space is at a premium in Hawaii. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that a 3-bedroom house, the same that I have here at 1,100 square foot, is going to cost damn near $1 million out in Hawaii. So I'm not going to do that because any amount of extra rent I could get from a roommate isn't going to cover the capital costs of buying that home. So instead I'm going to rent. And I will rent a much smaller apartment. And that means I'll have to, give up some stuff. Given that Oahu is not a huge island, it may be feasible for me to go car-free. I've talked about this before. If you can live without a car, it is a huge game changer in terms of how much you spend. Even a very efficient car like my Volt out there is still, $40, $50 a month for insurance. It's still, gas is more or less negligible for me. It's like, I think I've spent like $50 a year on gas at this point, but I'll probably still, I will probably spend less than $100 on gas this year, and that makes me happy. For instance, it's going to be, maintenance costs. My car is just about reaching 90,000 miles, and so I'm going to take the time and pony up, a good amount of money to get engine coolant flushed, get electric drive unit fluid flushed. And all that maintenance is all preventative, right? And I could probably skimp on that and get by just fine. But I want that car to be reliable. I want it to last, and if I go and sell it, I want it to last whoever buys it next. Because, I don't know, I really like it. It's proof that American car companies actually can build small, reliable, efficient, good-looking cars, and unfortunately, the American public wants my big truck, gas gonna be $2 a gallon forever. If you buy a big stupid truck and you don't actually do truck things with it, you don't haul anything, you don't, go off-road, you're an idiot. Don't do that. I'm gonna be fully honest with you, right? If you have to own a car, right, ideally, don't buy a car if you can live without one. If you have to have one, don't buy a stupid one. That's just, I will be judgmental about this. I would say, and you know who you are, I would say probably 80% of truck users or truck owners do not need the truck that they use. they could either have a smaller, more efficient truck or something like a superior vehicle class, you know, a van. The people who do real work in the American economy, we're talking plumbers, HVAC techs, electricians, carpenters, they all drive Chevrolet Expresses. They don't drive big, stupid F-250s. Why is that? I do love trucks and SUVs for some reason. Come on, man, join the Van Master race. Don't cancel me for that, Twitch. That's a PC Master Race joke. Come on now. Anyway, but as far as living costs, yeah, if I can get rid of my car, I will do it. Thankfully, the island of Oahu is getting a train-based metro system, and the bus system's pretty good. Really, what I would love to do is get myself a pretty fancy little e-bike, even if it's a couple $1,000s to buy the one I want. If it can go 25 miles an hour and it can go for a range of 50 miles, and it's got enough cargo capacity for me to get groceries in, sold, baby. Or better still, you know, if I can't find something electric, I would prefer electric because gasoline is dirty and electric is simply better. Fight me, it's more efficient. I don't like to admit it because I'm a mechanical engineer and I don't like the wire weenies, but this one's where electricity is more efficient. You know, if I can't get that, I'll get a small gas-powered moped, you know, something like a Honda Cub. I was biking 10 miles to the gym each day. See, now that's, not to mention, that's also, with an e-bike too, you're pedaling too, so you're also burning calories, which is fantastic. So I'm eating a lot of coconut and spam musubi out there. God, I love spam musubi, but the macros are ass on it. I'm gonna probably, if I go out there, if I live out there, I'm gonna eat so much fucking poke. I love poke. I have to say, living in Vienna, the necessity for a car is not very big. Oh, Vienna is so pretty. I want to visit there someday. Also, Talio, that means you're a wiener. I had to make the joke. I've actually been to Austria once, and I went to Innsbruck, and Innsbruck was spectacularly beautiful. But yes, Tally is a wiener then, is what that means. Look, I'm just saying, you guys call your town ween, and you call residents of your town wieners. That's just, insert your own joke here. Tally-O is a wiener. Anyway, so, but I've done the back of the napkin math, and even living a more Spartan, more efficient lifestyle with an apartment, you know, an e-bike instead of a car, realistically, I think I can expect to spend about double what I do now, and that is about $36,000. And so with that in mind, right, I'm not going to say my current salary unless asked. That's just my personal rule. I never want to come off as a braggart. I'm open and transparent about finances, but you have to ask me first. I feel like that's a fair thing to do. That's a balance. But I reckon I would need, I know I'm not going to get paid double out there when I get paid double here. So in effect, it's going to be an effective pay cut, pretty much guaranteed. The question is how much, right? So if I get an offer for $75,000 a year out there, I'm gonna tell them to kick rocks. Look, I'm a mechanical engineer by degree who came from an excellent mechanical engineering school with nuclear work, with a clearance, with defense work, and with a lot of regulatory knowledge of the nuclear space. That's just not a very common thing to find. So if you're gonna pay me, you know, 75 grand, which is basically, you know, your decent salary if you are a fresh out of college mechanical engineer from A&M, no, I'm not gonna take that. You're gonna have to pay a little bit more than that. That's, with my credentials, I think I have earned a higher salary than that. Now, again, I'm not expecting $200,000 a year. That would be ridiculous. But, you know, with all the credentials I have, I should get paid accordingly. So I'm not, I can talk about the numbers in specifics if you guys want. Again, I have hesitations with doing that just because, you know, I don't want to come off as bragging. So I'll let you guys, if you guys want to know the exact numbers, you can ask. So it's really going to come down to a question of how competitive is the pay. Now, again, I'm willing to pay the sunshine tax to an extent. Now, I live in a sunny, warm climate here in South Carolina, but between the atrocious humidity and heat in the summer, and more importantly, the mosquitoes, which I'm pretty sure I have lost several liters of blood to over the course of this year, you know, You don't have those things in Hawaii. And as great as the beaches are in South Carolina, and believe me, they are very good here. I'm still 2 hours driving away from them. If I lived in, near Pearl Harbor, I can walk to the beach. Morning, Phoenix System. Good to see you. Welcome on in. So that's more or less it with humidity is the worst part in heat? Absolutely not. No, I can deal with humidity here in South Carolina. The bugs are the worst part here. The mosquitoes here are extremely aggressive. They are relentless, and they are the worst part about living in South Carolina. And the reason I say that's part of the heat is because it never gets cold enough to kill them off. Mosquitoes are more or less a 12-month-a-year problem here. You might get January away from them, and that's going to be about it. I've gotten bitten up in this garage in February, and that's not fun. Anyway, where are we going with that? So let's take a look at the markets. S&P has fallen a little bit. I think it's tremors related to the potential upcoming government shutdown. To me, government shutdowns are a great buy opportunity. They're a self-inflicted wound for the American economy, so I'm not for them, but as an investor, shutdowns never last that long. So there's too much power and money that wants to keep the government running, so that I wouldn't worry about it too much. But it is a short-term self-inflicted wound, so I would take it. You have them too, they're kind of small. We have small mosquitoes. We have the Aedes aegypti, which is the mosquito of sub-Saharan Africa. I believe Aedes aegypti is actually originally from Sudan, and we have them in quantities larger than most of Africa. There are more of those types of mosquitoes here than there are in most of Africa. And then we also happen to have I forget what it's called exactly, I don't know the Latin term for it, but the Southeast Asian tiger mosquito. This is the mosquito from Vietnam, Cambodia, India, Burma, Thailand. And due to international trade, we have extreme amounts of both of them here, and they are fantastically aggressive. So some mosquitoes are small, some mosquitoes are big. We have both of them. NerdWallet cost of living says the difference is 2 times in income for a lateral move, but they always seem to calculate buying a house. Exactly. Big recessions are America being put on sale. I couldn't agree more, actually. Yes, that's a very good way at looking at a recession. We always come back from recessions. They are temporary ultimately, and they take a few years, but we do come back from them. Yeah, I would say 2 times in income for a lateral move. They always seem to calculate buying a house, right? Now, again, I will say, my cost of living, even for this area of South Carolina, is extremely low. Even people around here say, holy crap, how do you live on that little? So, I will probably, year over year, be able to decrease my cost of living, just like I did in Texas, just like I did here. Right? I didn't live on $18,000 a year in 2021. It was more than that. It was more like $28,000, $29,000. Why? Well, I didn't know anybody yet, so I didn't know where to buy a house or how to get a roommate. All of those things, those all came later. So it's optimization. The same thing happened in Texas. I had an expense of about $28,000, $29,000, $30,000 when I lived in Texas. That was when I was renting an apartment the first time out there. But then I made friends at work and friends around Greenville, and I was able to, year over year, lower my housing costs, for instance. And as a result, by the time I left Texas, my spending was around 20 grand a year. And I could still optimize my spending further. I live like a king. I could, I could definitely cut my HVAC expenses. My roommate would rather I didn't, so we compromise on that one. But I don't need the internet to be as high speed as I want. Although I really like it because it means I get to stream to you guys. I don't need to be drinking nearly as much as I should. And frankly, I shouldn't be spending any money on alcohol at all at this point, but that's neither here nor there. I don't need to take the vacations that I do. I don't need to go, out to eat nearly as often as I do. But these are fun things that I can do and still meet my budget and then some. I'm still saving close to 80% of my income every month, so it's fine. So yeah, I would say, I think conservatively speaking, really, I don't think I'm going to spend more than about $3,000 a month out there. Again, a lot of people are going to say, wow, $3,000 a month is still slim as hell in Hawaii when you're, your rent's probably going to be close to $2,000 a month even for a studio. But consider, what else am I going to spend money on? groceries, sure. But if I work out at Pearl Harbor, I'm going to have access to the gym on the military base, so no gym. Which means, you know, if that happens, I'll probably sell a lot of this. I'll keep the power blocks because that way I can still do some dumbbell workouts with you guys, and that'll be fun. Just came in. Are you moving? Not necessarily. There's a chance. We're talking about this, so it's very likely. I'll summarize just for you. I have been talking with a couple of guys at the Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard. They're looking for nuclear engineers, and so they're interested in getting me out there. It's almost a guarantee that I will get an offer at this point. The question's going to be how much does it pay and what the timing looks like. So, but, you know, it's something to think about. But what else am I going to spend money on out there? Food, yeah, food will be expensive, but food is only a lot more expensive out there if you eat like a typical American. So I'm going to eat a lot less pork than I do here in South Carolina where it's cheap. I probably won't eat any beef. I will probably eat drastically more fish because it's Hawaii. You're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. As it turns out, fishing is pretty good there. I will probably eat a lot more fresh fruit. You can get tropical fruits that are actually grown on Hawaii. Obviously, the one everybody knows is pineapple, but that probably means coconut too. Probably a lot more rice, a lot more beans, a lot more vegetables. And yeah, probably a fair amount of spam too, because it is Hawaii after all. I don't mind a spam musabi. Is it musabi? I thought it was musabi. I don't know how to say it. If someone's in Hawaii, if someone is Hawaiian in here, help me out. But you get the point, right? It's going to be probably a lot more like edamame, probably a lot more. And the good news is a lot of that comes from the Japanese immigrants to Hawaii that mixed with the local culture. And as such, you know, Hawaii, I believe, has the highest or the second highest life expectancy of any U.S. state, one of the lowest obesity rates. I think it's partially because food is more expensive out there, but it's also partially because people are naturally more open to East Asian cuisine, and East Asian cuisine is substantially more healthy than the more European and soul food inspired cuisine of the continental United States, in particular the Southeast. You know, and alcohol is going to be a lot more expensive out there. You have to ship everything in, and Hawaii has very high alcohol taxes. My goal may be to just give up alcohol entirely if I move out there. Why bother? All it does is make it harder for you to achieve my body goals anyway, so why drink it? I really would love to get rid of it here, but the problem is, like, I can make my own alcohol out of the grapes I grow in my backyard here, so it's hard for me to give it up entirely. As it turns out, if you're making your own alcohol, the cost per unit is extremely low. It turns out that making your own booze with grapes that you grew for free is a really easy way to get drunk for free. You can make your own pineapple wine. I'm gonna try and memory hole that idea. I don't need that temptation in my life. I bet there is probably a pretty good pineapple liquor out there, but I don't. Let's forget. Let's not and say we did. How about that? So any other questions about that? If not, we'll take a little look-ski at the market. What do we have today? It was green yesterday, and looks like the story's about the same today. A slight green day. Just surprising. I would have figured it would have been a bit redder, given that, you know, we're having the whole shutdown debates going on. And this one, again, I normally am pretty centrist. I normally don't pick sides, but the Republicans need to get their heads out of their asses on this one, and in particular the far right. What needs to happen is the dormant business wing of the Republican Party, the part of the Republican Party that the left usually used to demonize as, they're the tools of Wall Street. Can those tools of Wall Street come back and assert themselves over the current crop of far-right clowns? Look, no, cut taxes at all cost Reaganite mindset of the old Republican vanguard. No, it's not something I would 100% agree with most of the time, but they're a lot better than the current clowns who just want to, they don't even have a coherent ideology. Dems are just in bed with Wall Street these days, is the right. The banks own everyone. I mean, there's some truth to that. Although, hey, credit where it's due, organized labor has made a couple good strides recently. Congratulations to the Writers Guild that seemed to have a successful strike against the big producers and studios out in Hollywood. UAW is on strike, although I think their demands are a bit ridiculous. You know, they're probably going to get a good chunk of what they want. The trouble with the UAW at this point is that Tesla will eat their lunch. I'm pretty convinced of that. That's mostly because the engineering departments at the big three have not been allowed to invest in electric vehicles the way they needed to over the last 10 years. The future is electric. A lot of people love to demonize electric vehicles, but come on now. Nothing will fundamentally change with my administration. Hillary Clinton when running for president in 2016 with Goldman Sachs Steiner. Yeah, it was going to be Hillary's. I mean, why were we expecting any different? It's not like Bill Clinton was a particularly left-wing president. I think Hillary was more or less going to be a continuation of the Obama years. I'm waiting as to hearing why that was a bad thing. I think the economy, if nothing else, did pretty well under Obama. I would put a lot more criticism towards Obama on foreign policy. I don't think he did a very good job there. Never mind, it was Biden. Well, okay, I mean, that one was, anybody with a brain could have told you that. Biden isn't the one running the show right now. I don't even think Kamala is either. Biden is too old to be president, put point blank. He has no business being president at his current age. Really, again, I said this earlier, the baby boomer generation needs to fuck right off. I think it's bad because they're fundamentally right, in my opinion. I think you mean fundamentally right-wing, right? Not fundamentally correct. Banks hate change. I mean, sure, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I have a skewed perception on this because I've been very successful in the status quo. You know, I've been able to invest. I've been able to save money. I've been able to live in a low-cost living area. You know, stuff like that. So perhaps again, this is one where my perspective is skewed based on my own experiences. In fact, I know that's the case. It's not a perhaps. That's how everyone is. We're all skewed by our own perspective. Change introduces risk. Yeah, and people are naturally risk averse. I agree with that. That's pretty wise. So I would say that's more or less it. All we got for the show today, and that's going to be it for the weekend. I'm going out to the beach. So I'm going to take one quick more piss break. If you guys have any further questions, hit it up now. Otherwise, we're going to find someone to raid. It looks like any major moves in the stock market. No, it looks like one of those sort of mildly green days. It's like, it's green, but it's not like absolute fucking Shrek out day. Like, you know, things are up between 0 and 1%. That kind of day. Ooh, oh, my legs are sore. Give me one moment. That's better. Have a good one. It's your property. You can do what you want. Beat me to it. Blood already knows. All right. Yeah. Well, let's see who's on. Tell you with the Blastoise. If you guys are interested at, by the way, like what salary I'd probably make the jump to Hawaii on, or details on that, you can ask me on Discord. We can talk more about that there if you're really curious. It doesn't sound like it, but just in case you were. Who we got? Zachbot, Bam Bam, and Joe. I rated Zachbot and Bam Bam recently, so I think we're going to go raid Joe. All right, so we are going to raid. Oh, so the raid message, as always. Ray Joe workouts. She is awesome, y'all. That's going to be it for me and for this weekend. I will see you next Thursday. Might do another Halls of Torment stream. That was a lot of fun. Until then, y'all, make good decisions. Those good decisions form your habits. Those habits form your values. Those values form an ethos that can be the guide star through the rough waters of life. Much love, y'all. I will see you next week. Come in for the hug. Big bull hug.
I don't know how else to describe it. It's
All right, YouTube. It's good to see you. See you next week.